Kevin Bartlett alongside. KB, who do you like?
Well, Dennis, we saw St Kilda last week. That amazing last quarter against Geelong when they were 25 points down to get up and win. I think at the moment they're the hottest team in the competition, won their last 5 games. So that man on screen, of course, could be the difference between the two sides. He's a magnificent player, and we know last week 1,306 goals now to Plugger Lockett against his old side. He'd be pretty revved up to show him that he's still pretty good. And maybe they just had a bit of a jibe at him on that banner. We've got a champion team. They've got a champion player.
Wakeland's got the job. There's O'Connor on low, and it is Carr on O'Loughlin. They're the matchups. As we started up, Everett slaps it wide to be taken by Thompson. Thompson kicks down towards half forward. It's a floater. Bounces towards the pocket. Luff left it behind. Goes back and finds it now. Hand passes into the path of Nix, who overran it. Trianides is dragged down. McLaren in trouble. Lost it. Walton reaches in. Standing over the top. Goods claiming a free kick. Campbell dives in. And we've got a ball up about 35 metres out from the attacking goal for the Saints. Swans in the white shorts. Crouch in the foreground, watching Harvey very closely. Lowe knocked it down. The umpire went down. Still in there. Seymour almost sat on it. Schwartz dives on it. And another ball up. Aussie, who's on the bench for the Saints?
Hayes, Mitchell, Francis and Elliott.
I should say present. So here's the bounce. Lowe and O'Connor, body to body, both of them bulky, fell at their feet. Trianides, well, he's gang tackled, wrestled to the ground, and another ball up.
Yeah, and Dennis, there's some interesting forward line structure there for the Sydney Swans. Lockett's actually pushing out wide to a pocket. Kelly's starting from the goal square. He's picked up by Burke. Saddington's playing at centre half forward, picked up by Peckett. And Flandy has no doubt got a defensive role across half forward, playing on Matthew Young.
McPherson, a very handy defender, bombs the ball back inside the centre square. It was a big pack of players. They go to ground, and that's Max Hutchton has hit the turf under pressure. Healy pumps the ball back, and running with the flow of the ball is Nix. The chaser was Stewie Lowe, but he finds Philandia out wide. He'll be pumping the legs like piston. Little Peter Philandia on the outer side, and the injury, of course, in the window there. That's Max Hutchton. That is a very nasty blow to St Kilda. Playing in front was Wakeling. Caught one in the head that time accidentally from Plugger. Going to ground was good. Slaps the ball out. They'll force this ball through for a behind. Robert Harvey takes it over the line. First score to Sydney. It's a behind. There's Max Hutchton on screen. Looks to be in a bit of trouble, Mick.
Yeah, no doubt he looks to be winded as far as I'm concerned. This was terrific courage. You could just sort of sense it. I think you could tell by your call that you knew the trouble was going to come, Dennis, but that's terrific courage there by both players, Hudson and also Leo Barry, but Hudson was worse for wear.
Young to Trianides. This is Walton across half back up towards the wing. Brown feeds it off. Harvey in trouble. Was he taken high? He certainly propped it. He ducked. Play goes on. No, it's coming back. And Harvey will get a free. Hutchton on his feet. That's the good news. He's had a bad run in recent weeks. He's been flattened virtually every week. It must be in his contract. Everett on the wing. Spiders away. Spears the pass in. Beautifully done. Brown. Great work. This is Healy. He's a long kick of the foot. He goes from 50. Is it straight? No, it's not. It's off to the left-hand side of behind. So Hutchton on his feet, back on his man. There's Healy. And the Swans bench, Aussie.
Lewis, Fosdyke, Carey and John Stevens.
Well, Nick's there just giving instructions. Wanted Swash to lead wide. Also Crouch. So Nick's a goal-kicking defender. He's booted 6 goals this season. Decides to kick the ball towards the outer side of the ground. He's looking for Troy Luff. Big bad Barry's got it. He's in magnificent form. Goes short and finds Spider. He drops a sitter. Luff does well, takes him face on. Spider knocks the ball out. Brown's caught high. He'll take the free kick. They won't pay advantage. They'll bring the ball back, surely.
What?
Well, that's an amazing decision by the umpire to pay the advantage when there was no advantage to St Kilda. So the Swans get a lucky break. McPherson comes away with the mark. Handballs back to Russell. Comes away from the half-back flank. Kicks wide. Backing back. Good mark taken by O'Loughlin. He had Philandia there as well. Plugger is leading to the pocket. He's been given the short shift because Saddington was the target. Peckett does well. Tries to take it on the second grab. It wasn't paid. Under pressure. Kelly feeds the ball out. Leo Barry runs to 50. Unloads. Waitland does well, playing in front of Plugger, then drills it wide. Taken by Carr. The loose player's been set up, Harvey. He's got Swash as his opponent. The two running machines. Gives the ball back off to Healy. Back to Harvey. Sets it up wide to Ryan. Under pressure, does well. Some fancy footwork. The Saints have done magnificently well. Trianides, a casual bounce, runs away from Maxfield. He's caught.
That's magnificent chase there by Maxfield, KB. He never, ever once gave up, and that is what is required, especially early in the game, to set the tone. He got shepherded off the line of the ball, but look at that persistence. The old adage, failure cannot cope with perseverance. Good stuff, Stuart Maxfield.
Kick up to the wing, Everett goes up and takes the mark. So the Saints will attack again. Man on in the middle, that's ignored. He goes for distance. Just gets it inside the 50. Hall did well out of position, knocked it down. Healy to Trianides. Man on towards the square. Low, open goal beckons. Low goes in, 2 metres out and kicks it 40.
Yeah, good stuff there from the St Kilda team. Good sharing of the ball. Trianides could have easily blazed away, but seen low at the corner of his eye. Good contest there by Barry Hall. Quite often when you are caught behind in the forward part of the ground, that's the percentage thing to do, is punch the ball and keep the ball alive, knowing that your crummers will be front of the pack and they can mop up.
Stewie Lowe on screen has kicked the first goal of the game, and Trianides made amends for being caught in the centre of the ground by Stuart Maxfield. Great vision to set it up to Stewie Lowe. So the Saints lead by 6 points. Good's given away a lot of inches in the ruck. Stephen Carey is on the interchange bench, one of the bigger players for the Sydney Swans. Do you find that a bit strange?
Yeah, well, actually, I thought either him or Ryan O'Connor would actually get the role on Stewie Lowe. I probably would have went for Stephen Carey initially, knowing he's played in that part of the ground more often than not. There's some interesting matchups, KB. Swash has been picked up by Damien Ryan. Also, young Walton's running with Creswell in midfield.
We'll try and just shovel the ball out. You'd have to rove to Spider Everett because young Goods is giving away so many inches. Here's Stewie Lowe, the chaser. Campbell kicks the ball off the ground for a toss back in.
Saints by 6 points. The early going from Waverley Park. Saturday football on 7. Rodney Eade started his coaching career against Adelaide back in '96 with a loss. In front, O'Connor fell in front of him, feeds the hand pass out. Creswell off his step. Ryan in the opposite direction. Brown almost stretching. Crashing through was Thompson, picked up by Brown. Away to Harvey. He's been busy early. 40 metres out, Robert Harvey. And I suppose if there is a criticism of Harvey, it's his finishing sometimes, particularly near goal. Had some time there and missed.
It's interesting, the St Kilda team are actually adopting the man-on-man approach on the St Kilda team's kick-ins. It's quite easy at Waverley to get some space and to receive the ball from the fullback kicking in.
Scott Russell still inside his own defensive 50. Awkward mix, in trouble twice. Gets away, nicely done. Back towards the wing goes the kick. Young, who's in very good form recently, gathers the ball. Beautiful kick. Now Everett on his left foot opens up the angle and has just missed. The Swans flirting with disaster right there.
I thought for a split second he might have fed the ball off to Aussie Jones, who was running past Spider. Needs a bit of confidence, Aussie. Goods. What a first season he's having in the AFL. The youngster from Ballarat. There's Ryan O'Connor with his big bulk marking in front of Harvey. Injured himself early in the season with a knee, so he's missed a lot of footy. Ryan O'Connor, the Alex Jesaulenko medalist, when he's in his best form. Russell goes wide. They share the ball around, back to Goods. Chips the ball up towards the half-forward line. It's a high floater. Finds Crouch, who loves the run with the ball. 65 metres out, centres the ball. Kelly's the target. Great kick.
It was interesting watching on the way through on that occasion, KB. Nathan Burke was playing 15 metres in front of Paul Kelly. I think you've got to play a little bit more tighter in that part of the ground and don't assume that the sole target is going to be Tony Lockett, because as we know, in that forward part of the ground, Kelly can be a goal kicker.
And directly in front, he has missed. He's booted 15 goals for the season. He's played a lot on the forward line since having that knee problem, but one would have expected Paul Kelly to kick that from point-blank range.
Whoops. Wakeland gets it away to Young. They live to fight another day. Up towards the wing. Healy knocked away by Seymour. Down in front. The hand pass comes down towards half-forward from Fosdyke. Picked up now by Kelly. 52 metres out into the path of Plugger. Beautifully done. So a champion is missed at either end to open this game. Initially Harvey and then Kelly. Yet another champion. And we don't give that description away too easily. But all three certainly certifiable. You can stamp them. There's the angle. Lockett runs around. Can he put the finish on his kick? It's close. Behind. So the margin is 6 points. Nice to see that tribute before the game from Saints fans. Don't often see that bipartisan approach. Plugger, a great player, of course, for the Saints, and probably in many respects, as Healy takes this mark from the kick-in, kept them going during their darkest times. Healy across the ground, nice kick. Thompson, he's at half-back, plays on. Hutchton seems to be okay, well, almost okay. Not a particularly good kick. Pickett, shepherded well by Jones, kicks down a half-forward and Hall in front of Luff.
Well, Barry Hall's been averaging 7 marks a game. He's the informed player of the competition on the forward line. He was looking for Aussie Jones, nicks on hands and knees, gets support from Luff. Very versatile player, just tumbles the ball back. Creswell thought he may have taken the mark, not paid. Back to Thompson, who was magnificent last week against the Cats, floats the ball in, and Seymour stands his ground. Some rebound football, finds Goods. They're trying to play through Goods, running off Big Spider. Maxfield, off and running. A powerful player and a penetrating kick. Looking for O'Loughlin. He was tied up that time. Taken away by Carr, pulled off the ball by O'Loughlin. It was great play. Then feeds the ball back to Maxfield, who puts Campbell under a lot of pressure. Finally, the ball is forced over the line for a boundary throw-in.
It was good work by Stewie Maxwell to play on, but he did play on a bit blind. As he turned around, he just took off, and there was no options for him, so just has to weigh up his options sometimes.
One would expect Spider is going to get his hands on the ball every time, so it's important for the Swans midfield to make certain they're roving to Spider. All Goods can do is be a loose man around the ground, pick up possessions. Here's Aussie Jones, bundled over. They paid the free kick for in the back. This time, no advantage. Aussie, all Australian in 96, has really struggled. That's a great kick, and Barry Hall, who is very, very quick for his size, right out in front of Troy Luff, 65 metres out, unloads a big bomb. Stewie Lowe's following it back. Through for a behind. He looks dangerous, Dennis, doesn't he?
Yes, he's in rare form.
And Sydney have actually made some changes. They've pushed Philandia back onto Brown across half-back for the Sydney Swans. Campbell's gone forward where we've normally seen him play. Matthew Young's picking him up, but also an interesting matchup now. Creswell's actually gone to Harvey, releasing the tag of trying to get Walton off him.
Next went to Seymour, who didn't see Thompson. Short one, missed by Brown, inside the 50. McLaren feeds it back. Walton upended, coming away as McPherson, nicely done. Now Russell can run around the outer side. From the wing, he goes down towards right half forward. St Kilda favoured by the kick, though. Either one of two, Burke and or Young. It's Young who took the mark, comes to Thompson. Best on ground last week, told to play on. Kicks down towards half forward. Luff will need to go. Knocks it away from Harvey. Opportunity in front for Jones. Luff still goes. Tackled by Jones. Heads for the boundary line. Brown and Harvey. Brown picks it up. Close to the line. Kicks it inside the 50. Low behind. Decided to opt out right at the last moment. And Barry Hall's marked within scoring range.
I don't think there's much between the two teams in this early stages of the game. It's just that St Kilda, when they're going forward, are finding their tall targets. The example was Scotty Russell. An unforced error when the ball was going forward for the Sydney Swans. Bad kick, Young intercepted. And all of a sudden, because of that turnover, Hall's got a shot to kick his first, St Kilda's second for the day.
Their leading goal kicker with 20, 13 in the last 4 games, including 5 against the Bombers. He's got his first of the afternoon.
merely because of the nature of this ground at Waverley Park. You cannot afford to not use the ball effectively when you've got a chance to set up an opponent or teammate further afield. Scott Russell on that occasion turned the ball over across half forward, allowing Young to set up for St Kilda. There was a contest across half back, but weight of numbers, Brown and Harvey certainly suited St Kilda on that occasion, and that's a terrific contested mark from Barry Hall.
Well, Barry Hall's got to be the most improved player in AFL football. He hasn't just become a good player, he's become a fantastic player for St Kilda. And there's no one. Here he is again, he's marking on the wing. He's absolutely inspired, goes short and finds McLaren. Looking for Healy, this is a poor kick, Saturn should get a fist to the ball and does so. For a boundary throw in.
Boys, Stephen Carey's just come on for the Swans, replacing Freddie Campbell.
St Kilda inside 50, 12-4. And the marking power of Stewie Lowe and also Barry Hall, to me, poses a problem for the Swans. O'Connor got his hands on the ball for Landia, just bullocked his way through, kicks it off the ground, out on the full. Trianides on centre wing, this raking left footer, just tumbles it off the boot. It's a poor kick. Hitting the ball hard was Luff, trying to keep the ball in front. Young, down from the half-back line, gives it across to Harvey, quick hands back to Hall, stands and delivers. Stewie Lowe over the top was the big rhino. Stewie Lowe thought maybe he was interfered with. Again, a boundary throw in.
Campbell off the ground, receiving some treatment. It's a boundary throw in. Alongside the behind post, left full forward for the Saints, who lead by 13 points. Pushing and shoving, low clean possession, tried to feed it off. Seymour, sensing the danger, paddles it along in front initially. Now controls it, time and space, he's taking all of it. Eventually breaks away, kicks to midfield. There was nothing on up the ground, straight to Everett. Couldn't believe his good fortune, looked around, plays on, goes looking for Lowe, but not the place for it really. Wide of the mark, Lowe offering the lead, Everett honouring the lead. There's Dale Lewis. Good to see him back after a broken arm. One of the characters and one of the stars of this Sydney Swans outfit. 16 plays 3. Two strong men. Not much jumping here, it's all about body. O'Connor probably did best there. Close to the boundary line, McPherson can't keep it in, so another throw in. The goals so far to Lowe and Hall. They loomed as the danger coming into this game. The Swans must curb them. O'Connor and Lowe again. Lowe prepared to concede front position. Harvey has watched that long enough. Flew in from behind, took clean possession. Walton gathers just outside the 50. Carey juggles the mark.
Inside the defensive 50, Stephen Carey started on the interchange bench. Barry Hall has already taken 5 marks. Creswell at ground level. That's his territory. Cops one in the head. Takes the free kick. He's on the half-back flank. Averages 27 possessions a game, along with Swass also 27 and Harvey. For St Kilda 28, the 3 leading possession winners in the AFL.
It's obvious the Sydney Swans are actually going to double team Everett today. Carey's now gone on the ruck. Goods has gone to more or less a forward pocket type role for the Sydney Swans.
And Nix gives him an option and marks on centre wing. Covers a lot of territory, does Nix. There's Goods on screen. Across the half forward line. 16 plays 3. The Saints in front. The high flyer was Kelly, but he had Everett to beat. Taken away by Pecker. Just belts the ball back. Ryan O'Connor read it well. Now able to transfer the ball wide, looking for Creswell. He's on the half-back flank. He's got a loose player on the back edge of the centre square, and McPherson is a good user of the ball. He's going to kick the ball wide, very, very wide. Thompson's backing back. He's got Crouch to beat Thompson. Magnificent last week. And again, Tim Watson be thrilled with his improvement this year as well. Tony Brown drops a sitter. They've got the numbers. Aussie Jones slaps the ball back over the line.
There's been a fair amount of indecision from the St Kilda team in this early stages of the first quarter. Just picking the wrong option at times. Last occasion when Everett went forward to kick to a contest with Lowy and also Ryan O'Connor, there's no doubt Joey McLaren could have been used short. At the moment, they're just under a little bit of pressure, mainly due to the defensive tactics employed by the Sydney Swans.
Carey couldn't control it. Brown, who's been busy, to Walton. Trianides close to the boundary line. Kicks inside the attacking 50 yet again. Hall is there, almost the one-hander. Schwarz kept it in front, dragged down. Philandia likewise. Going to be a free kick, will advantage be paid. Luff wasting no time. Players waved on. Well, that's not advantage. Healy's got it. That's twice now. Healy scrambles a kick down towards the pocket, out of bounds on the full. So the Swans will get it back, but the umpire making a very hasty decision there. Maybe they've changed their ruling on that. They were very patient up until, well, I guess a week ago. Seems to have altered a bit.
I think they've looked at the advantage rule in the context of the player's free. That's the advantage. They really can't judge on the kick or not, Dennis.
Okay. Which makes some sense. Saddington, hurried kick up towards the wing. Hitting it hard is Young. He's a dasher. Matthew Young, probing kick inside the 50. Great finish. Stuart Lowe is marked about 25 metres out. But the kudos is for Young back in midfield. His teammates run to him. That was a cutting run.
Yeah, this is just a great build-up. And that's when a player's full of confidence, knowing that he can take an opposition on, backing his ability to evade him, but more importantly, to have the poise and the balance to find a teammate further afield. And that's why Matthew Young has become a very important player for the St Kilda team across half-back.
Big Stewie going at his second, the third for St Kilda. Not a convincing effort, that one. Missing way left.
It's been 18 entries into their forward 50 to 4. St Kilda would certainly want more effectiveness on the scoreboard than the 2 goals 5 indicates.
Saints by 14 points. Philandia kicks it to himself and then belts the ball wide. Looking for Kelly. He's got Burke to beat. 2 great warriors close to the boundary line, squeezed up, finally taken over. Poor Kelly on screen. And Nathan Burke. See there, Sydney's doing well in the tackle, 7-1.
I think that indicates that they're second to the ball.
And Mitchell has just come onto the ground also for the Saints. So boundary throw in. Stewie Lowe doing the ruck work against O'Connor. Burke did well, squeezed it out towards Aussie Jones. He did well, back to Thompson. Ryan under pressure. Just tumbles the ball towards goals. This is going to be close, could be kicked off the ground. I thought Mitchell has just come off the interchange bench. Finally taken through by the Swans defence and McPherson.
There's no doubt the Sydney Swan team are trying to push back and flood that forward area of St Kilda. It's just important to win the ball and use it more importantly on the way out.
Good mark to Nix. Precise kick from Schwarz. So Matthew Nix up from the back pocket. Sign's not good for Sydney. Doing a lot of defending. A fair bit of indecision as well. Schwarz still in the back pocket. Eventually kicks it high towards the wing. Saddington goes up, fisted away by Healy. Down in front, Thompson getting a lot of the ball. Jones, Harvey, his 10th possession, feeds the hand pass back, taken by Hutchton. Hutchton over the top. Healy's got it now. Harvey surrounded. Will he break free? Well, the kick is not a good one. He didn't spot the man out of the corner of his eye, Crouch, who was just lurking 5 metres to the right of Walton as Harvey saw it. There's Goods running hard. Crouch setting it up towards centre half forward. Goods comes in and takes the mark. An impressive youngster. Goes long down towards full forward. Wakeland's out of position. Plugger goes down though. Wakeland did very well, and again, like a pinball machine. Wakeland, brilliantly done. Gets it across to Peckett. Peckett clears the zone. Kicks it towards the outer side. With some running room, it's Aussie Jones. Settles. Kicks down towards half forward, intended for Hall. Coming across on the angle was Seymour. Hall's got it now. He's bulldogged down by O'Connor. Couple of the league's strongest players there in a test of strength. Barry comes up with a footy. The umpire wants it. We'll have a ball up down towards left half forward for St Kilda.
And a wide smile from Barry Hall.
And that was a terrific tackle there by Ryan O'Connor. I think he should have got rewarded for a free kick on that occasion. Hall sort of grabbed the ball at ground level, decided to take O'Connor on, but he was equal to the strength and laid a good tackle.
Brown read it well from Stewie Lowe. Here he is again, Barry Hall. Couldn't take on the second grab, but he thought he might have got pushed out. But there was no free kick. Carey gives the ball across to Crouch, comes away from the half-back line, goes back towards the centre square. Goods. He is a terrific first-year player. Back to Maxfield. It's a hurried kick up towards the half-forward line. Coming out hard as Leo Barry. Leaping Leo. strutting his stuff at ground level. This could bounce through. It's running towards the line. It's got there. I reckon he's got it. Leo Barry has got the first Swans goal on the board.
Yes, no doubt a much needed one from Sydney Swans' point of view, but I dare say Leo Berry would be happy that that ball went through, because on the left of screen there was Lockett all by himself. He was a little bit disgusted, but he'd be happy that the ball went through and wasn't touched.
Just over 2 minutes till quarter time. Good goal for Sydney. They trail by 9 points. Stewie Lowe up on the ball. Not new to that this season. Fell at their feet. Nicely done by Crouch. Dragged down by Young. Spills back to Goods. Fine poised by the young man. Kicks inside the 50. Down towards Lockett. In from the side, Creswell. And there's always that opportunity for quick thinking around Plugger. Sometimes there's a jostling duel taking place, and the third man can drift in and claim the mark, and Creswell did that time. So a kick from about 25 metres out.
Yeah, good play here by Goods. Good composure. No one went at the player with the ball, but here's Creswell, a marking midfielder. He's gone forward. Kelly's come onto the ball. Obviously, it's a one-on-one matchup all over the ground because Burke's followed Kelly, and Walton's gone back to a back pocket playing on Creswell.
Should kick it, and does. Fine finish to the turn.
Yeah, good build-up by the Sydney Swans team. Just by restructuring their midfield with Kelly going into the midfield with Swash. Good to see Creswell, who can be a marking forward. Terrific tackle here by Young. Could have got rewarded. The Crouch got the handball free, but there was Harvey. Probably should have went at the ball carrier. But here's a contested mark in their forward part of the ground. Lockett kept Wakeland at bay, but Creswell floated across the pack.
Well, just over a minute left in this first quarter, and the Swans have done very well because Saints in general play seem to be the better side and have had plenty of opportunities, but 2 quick goals to Sydney sees the Swans trailing by just 3 points. Nathan Burke, Adam Goods doing the ruck work against Everett.
And it's interesting to see Johnny Stevens come off the interchange bench, gone straight to Harvey, so no doubt Rocket Eads mentality, the Sydney Swans coaches to double team Harvey all day.
Thompson tries to drill it, looking for Mitchell. Playing in front was Luff, then slapped the ball towards the line, taken by Sangton. Now Flania, half smothered off the boot that time by Tony Brown. Seymour on hands and knees, tried to shove the ball out, then showed great strength. Hitting the ball hard was Healy, appealing for the free kick. Barry Hall on 50, around the corner, Stewie Lowe. Couldn't take it on the half volley. O'Connor, the big rhino, to Nix. They combine out of defence, drills it, a slips catch to Stephen Carey, magnificent mark. True centre-half back position. Loose player wide is Russell. Sydney be happy with his first term. Finds Goods, who's been very good. As the siren sounds, an entertaining first quarter. 2-6-18 the Saints, 2-3-15 Sydney. That man on screen, Barry Hall, has taken 5 marks and had 7 kicks in the opening term. Has also booted a goal. And Tony Lockett yet to kick a goal.
Robert Harvey 11 possessions. And Jones has had 10. Andrew Jones, or rather Thompson. Andrew Thompson is a player who's really coming on. Quarter time, the margin is 3 points. The Saints in front. And suited by a ground like this one, the longer it goes, Goods could become an influential player. Start of the second term. He's on the left, Everett's on the right. St Kilda by 3 points then. Open running game in the first term. Robert Harvey looking over Spider's shoulder. Everett goes up and thumps it high in the air, gained about 5 metres. Harvey tried to knock it forward, taken by Crouch. Dragged down, kicks it down to half forward. Barry, who's got a goal. There's Goods again, about 55 metres out. Clever kick into the path of Lockett. And Lockett's got this one about 35 metres out, sharp angle. Now Carey unchecked about 20 metres out from goal. beckoning Lockett for the ball, but not forthcoming. Lockett was preoccupied with getting the angle right. So Tony Lockett, goalless so far this afternoon. Welcome back in style by the St Kilda faithful. He hurt them here and gives Sydney the lead. Lockett slides it right across the face, just a behind.
It wasn't that clever play there by young Adam Goods. I'd go as far to say he's the best young talent I've seen this year, without a shadow of a doubt.
No question.
No doubt, Mick. Obviously, Sydney's got to concede that Everett will win the tap out at the centre bounces. But Adam Goods, just 19 years of age, youngster originally from Horsham, played in Ballarat, under 18s, is smart enough at the tender age to know that he's got mobility on Spider Everett and can pick up the ball. And there he is playing in front again of Spider. This time it's punched away, taken away by Creswell. Slick hands to Nix, a running half-back, 65 metres out, unloads a big bomb. He's got it.
That is a team lifter. He has been a rebounding defender all year for the Sydney Swans and a noted goal kicker. That's his 7th goal for the year. He just is prepared to know when to run. Good quick hands there by Creswell, but Nix kept the hands free in the tackle. Once he knew that he could run into space, he balanced himself, gained some composure and kicked from outside 50. That's a terrific running goal from Sydney Swans' point of view.
6 possessions for Matthew Nix. Sydney have put in the last 3 goals in this contest. It really has turned around. 3-4-2-6. Bounce hangs in the air. It favoured Everett, who slaps it down. Healy on his knees, digs it forward, trying to soccer off the ground. Initially was Harvey, now he picks it up, gets the hand pass off. Thompson, they combine, as they do so often effectively. The kick from Hayes, juggled mark by Mitchell. Mitchell about 40 metres out.
Yeah, good mark there by Mitchell. No doubt Timmy Watson is rotating players on and off the ground through the interchange bench. Already in that first quarter we saw Walton and Brown and Trianides, who are now starting the 3rd quarter on the interchange bench. They've been replaced by Francis Hayes and this man on screen. Good coaching from Tim Watson to rotate players on this big ground at Waverley Park.
Gavin Mitchell off to the right. In fact, it's a mark down there. The man who kicked the goal just moments ago, Matthew Nix. Interesting there too, Gavin Mitchell kicking at his 18th goal of the season. His career total at Fremantle was 18 in 36 games. Nix off his step, but it's coming back. The umpire insisting. It's Peter Carey. Some experience today too with Sheehan and Carey in this panel, joined by Troy Burton. So Matthew Nix eventually to clear the zone. Goes for distance, high kick towards the outer side. Seymour up, missed it. Harvey lurking behind to Hodgson. Thought about a hand pass, comes back to Harvey. Harvey arches the back, slips away, kicks inside the 50. It falls in short. I'm not sure that was the intention, but a good result as far as the Saints are concerned. Healy's got it and will kick from just inside the 50. Now, he's normally a thumping kick.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you here, Dennis. It was a floating kick. Certainly it wasn't intended for Daniel Healy. But this man on screen is a noted goal kicker. Very accurate when shooting for goal.
Put at 6 against the West Coast Eagles last season at Subiaco in what was a match-winning performance, and that's a beautiful kick.
The thing I like about Daniel Healy, he's beautifully balanced when he approaches for goal. He never seems flustered when he's sort of around that 50-metre arc. He doesn't try to kick the ball harder than what you do normally. He's just got that great confidence in his kicking ability. Very relaxed in his approach. Head directly over the line of the ball. Straight leg, taut foot. Very, very penetrating player when kicking for goal.
St Kilda by 2 points. Again, Goods against Everett. Taken away by Hayes. All tied up. So the youngster on screen from the ACT won the Morris Medal back in 1998. A fine first season as well. Everett is going to get his hand on the ball many times during the course of this game. Healy goes to the ground, so's Harvey. Tied up that time by Crouch, who's got the job. Tagging him early in this second term, taken away by Maxfield. Just finds Stephen Carey, 45 metres out. It's off target and through for a behind. So a wasted opportunity for the Sydney Swans.
Well done by Goods again there too.
Who's on the bench down there for Sydney, Aussie?
Freddie Campbell, Johnny Stevens, Nick Fosdyke and Dale Lewis.
24 plays 23. Matthew Young brings the ball back into play. He's averaging 22 possessions a game. Only Robert Harvey with 28 has more for the Saints. Francis also started on the bench today. Goes short. It's a poor kick. Sets it up over the top. Was Filiandia. Just lacked a few inches. Kicked off the ground. Saints drive the ball forward. Here's again McPherson on the burst. Unloads back towards centre half forward. And standing his ground is Leo Barry. Lockett's in the pocket. Waitling trying to make ground. Does well. Got a fist of the ball. Plugger around the corner. Burke read it well. Keeps the ball alive. Wants to draw an opponent and does well over Carey. Finds Francis, who comes away from the back pocket. This is a wonderful kick out in front. And Aussie Jones didn't have to break stride.
Aussie Jones, short back towards the middle. Awkward one there. Missed by Ryan, picked up by Maxfield. Gets the hand pass to Creswell. It comes back to Russell. He slipped over. Schwartz has got it now. Off the ball is a whistle.
Yeah, against
the free
Hayes.
kick is going to the Swans, and Russell will get it.
Yeah, against Lenny Hayes, he was holding Scotty Russell after he got rid of the ball.
So Russell forward of the wing. Probing kick well inside the 50. And the clever mark is taken by O'Loughlin. The car worked underneath it. And he himself, not a bad aerialist. O'Loughlin judging it perfectly.
Yeah, and Matthew Carr's got the job on Michael O'Loughlin today. He had a fairly good first quarter. He had 6 possessions to O'Loughlin only 3. But one senses in about 10 minutes of football, O'Loughlin could be the danger man. He's very elusive, is a good aerialist, as Dennis mentioned, but also at ground level. He can turn a game and kick multiple goals very quickly.
A goal here, and the Swans will lead by 5 points. Full square by the narrowest of margins. Aussie, the Saints bench.
Tony Round, Tim Elliott, Ben Walton and Jason Trinides, who is an interesting one because every time he's on, he kicks goals. So perhaps an interesting one to get him on.
Harvey to himself, almost a fumble, comes away and finds Burke. Burke, the defensive side of half-back. 24 points apiece. Sydney working right into this contest now. Summer decision from Burke. Eventually decides to go for distance. High ball, and why not? Everett's the target, launches himself. Plenty to launch. And he takes the mark. The defensive side of the wing. Goods has got him corralled though. Forces the error. Taken by Maxfield to Nix. Now Goods is running. The hand pass released in that direction. Coming through though is Crouch. Gathers the bouncing ball and spots O'Loughlin, who is going for mine. Play on's the call. He was taken 1.5 revolutions. Picked up by Crouch. Bounces down to Barry. Wants his left side. Barry about 35 metres out. Pulls it back towards the middle. Coming in is Saddington. And Saddington did very well to mark that one. I think he lost it momentarily. Took a faltering step. Found it again. And has taken the mark. And despite the end result, he's not all that happy.
Yeah, I think it was a comedy of errors from both sides. Everett took a good mark, but decided to play on. He just wasn't far enough away from the mark, then put his teammate under pressure. Then when Sydney went forward, they tried to use the ball. O'Loughlin tried to play on too quickly. The end result is Saddington's taken a mark inside his 50.
Jason Saddington kicks and kicks truly. Sydney back in front.
Just the result Sydney Swans needed. They've certainly got the ascendancy in this, the second quarter. Here's the lead up into the approach with Barry winning the ball. But here's O'Loughlin taking a mark. Decide to play on. Good call there by the umpire. Good pressure there by Carr. Maybe a free kick could have been given. A good play also by Crouch just to get the ball forward into the path of Barry, who kicked and looked for a player further afield.
Sydney by 6 points. Tim Watson in the coach's box. As Spider Everett comes charging in, it's a poor bounce, still gets a big fist to the ball. They're working off Everett's tap outs now as Nix, who's a clever player, just tumbles the ball back towards centre half forward. Peckett, the juggler, does well across half back, an underrated player, then uses the ball well to Aussie Jones, rockets the ball to Nathan Burke, who's upended as he kicks the ball down looking for Stewie Lowe, who finally is bundled over the line by Luff for a boundary throw in. Nathan Burke on screen. playing his 258th game today, his 13th season. Twice he's won the best and fairest for the Saints. Stewie Lowe, game number 266, the same as Plugger Lockett. So 2 careers, very similar. Sydney started slowly, but starting now to go up a notch. Young St Kilda fan looks on.
You spoke about the influence Everett's having against Goods. It's been 13 hit-outs to 2. It's been clearances for St Kilda 13 to 5. Nearly 14 to 5 because of Harvey fumble.
Well, Harvey's had the ball 16 times already. We've still got 12.5 minutes left in this second quarter. So he's winning a lot of the ball. Spider against Carey. Down to Thompson, tied up by McPherson. They fight for it hard on the ground. And again, the ball up.
Yeah, Creswell's actually trying to negate Harvey at these stoppages around the ground. Crouch is his general opponent in general play, but there's Creswell trying to get in between the ruck contest and his opponent in Harvey.
Schwarz dragged down. The bounce close to the boundary line. Sydney led it by 6 points. As we've seen as we look at the crowd, plenty of support for the Swans here. Carey and Everett. Everett shields the ball initially, thumps it about 15-20 metres. Overrunning, Kelly trying to slap it away from Burke. It ricochets off Harvey. Philandia coming through at full tilt. Schwarz was taken low and should get a free kick. Advantage will not be paid this time. Well, Kelly was on the burst on the wing. Comes back to Schwarz. Schwarz off his step. Creswell, defensive side of the wing. Back to Schwarz. Philandia's got it now. Well, they're going every way but forward. Philandia eventually kicks towards half forward. Everett, defiant fist on it. Down in front, Russell feeds it back. Schwarz again, took a risk, got it to O'Connor. Now it's with Seymour alongside the centre circle. Lovely finish. The mark is held by O'Loughlin.
50.
He's getting 50.
Yeah, I don't know whether there was much in that.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, no, I just think the position of the umpire on that occasion made that incident look worse. Matty Carr was just doing the normal defensive tactic. I don't think he instigated the action of O'Loughlin falling forward. It was O'Loughlin actually dropped his knees into the ground. Carr, because he felt the body contact, went straight over the top of him. And no doubt that 50 metre wasn't there. What do you think, Kev?
You're right. That was Dennis. O'Loughlin puts it through for a goal.
Well, I don't think there was any malice in it at all, Mick. There was a bit of forward momentum there. So it was one of those line ball ones. A bit lucky to get it, Michael O'Loughlin, the 50-metre penalty. But we will see here where he does mark it clearly in front. And they don't like players to continue on with their momentum and take players to the ground.
It's difficult to stop in your tracks, though. All the same.
Well, Sydney by 12 points. Saints have won their past 5 games, the in-form team of the competition. But Sydney, a bit undermanned in the ruck, no Stafford, but young Goods doing a good job winning the ball around the ground. He's had it 7 times for 5 marks. Here's Aussie Jones trying to find a bit of form to Barry Hall, who's very dangerous in that first term. Tries to just rip the ball out of the arms that time of Troy Luff. Saddington paddles the ball along in front. Mitchell kicks it off the ground with a toe poke. He was looking for Healy. Burke comes in hard. Ball finally forced towards centre wing. Good defensive play by Sydney.
Out in the full.
But put it out on the full. They were a bit unlucky. Sets it up to Burke on the half-forward line. Big Spider lurks in the pocket. Marks in front of Seymour.
Fairly difficult pocket to actually kick goals from. Everett, I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually open up the goal face a little bit and run around onto his dominant left side.
You see they're all Australian for the past 2 years. #1 ruckman in the competition. And he does open up the face. It's on his preferred side. It's going to drop in the square. Stewie Lowe claims the mark.
Play on, he's called the umpire.
They pile on top. A ball up.
And a good decision, I think. Ryan O'Connor and a couple of his Sydney Swans teammates had a fair amount of this.
Well, O'Connor is in front of Stewie Lowe. who just rips the ball out of the hands that time, also Troy Luff. So a chance for the Saints in the goal square. They'll be trying to keep the ball alive. The Swans will try and force it through. I fancy he may have stepped over the line. One behind for the Saints. .25 plays 36. The skipper, Kelly, to bring the ball back into play, goes short, finds Seymour. Tough, uncompromising defender. Finds Scotty Russell. This is his 7th possession. He's already taken 4 marks. They've really used the ball between each other today, Sydney. It's been really keepings off. Looking for Troy Luff, does well, backing back, outmarks Trianides. Again, they make ground. The short passes on to Stephen Carey. So Sydney not really bombing the ball into the forward line, although they've got Plugger in the goal square, who's screaming for the ball and says, kick it to me. I've kicked 1,306 goals in my career. I know what I can do. Plugger got his hands on the ball. Couldn't hang on to the Sharon, through for a behind.
And Dennis, I think it's an ideal opportunity now for St Kilda to actually go to the zone defence. I know there's a lot of area to zone on the Sydney Swans team's kick-ins, but at the moment their man-on-man tactics certainly isn't working. The Sydney Swans players are getting free.
Burke to Carr. From the back pocket, sends play towards the outer side wing. Coming back, Walton, waiting behind for Landia. Showing plenty of toe for Landia. Taken front on by Walton, pushed off the ball. It ricochets off Thompson. Was it out on the full? I think it may have been. Things aren't going right for the Saints at the moment. Sydney showing a lot of heart. They're up by 12 points and doing most of the attacking. Andrew Thompson standing the mark. Peter Landia, who came off last week for a while there. Looked seriously injured. Great to see him back and playing well. Here's Barry, a natural left footer. Very left-sided. Pops it across to Creswell, who runs inside the centre square and unloads for a long kick. Back goes Young. Uncontested. Wasn't the kick that the Swans needed coming in. McLaren under pressure. Getting a hand on it, Russell. Solid work in there by Maxfield. The hand pass came wide from Crouch. Flicked across from Aussie Jones to Young. Young's kick not particularly effective. Picked up nicely by Peckett. Gets it to Harvey. Harvey at centre half back. Running hard for the Saints. Not much on offer. Spider needed to mark it. He did. He was surrounded by Swans. Wasting no time. He plays on. What a beautiful kick. Getting in behind the defence is Thompson. And he's marked about 40 metres out.
Yeah, Dennis, and you mentioned he got in behind the defence. All players, as Creswell kicked that ball and Young intercepted the kick, were forward of centre. So the Sydney Swans team sensed the danger. They all pushed forward, then Thompson worked hard the other way.
Important kick, this one. It's a wayward kick. It's out to the right. So the margin is 11 points.
Well, St Kilda really flood their back line. As soon as Sydney has the ball, all their forwards run down and make certain they get into a defensive position. Only Barry Hall was on their forward line when the Swans last came forward. Here's McPherson from half back. Wants to set it up, draws the opponent in Ryan. Finds Ryan O'Connor, swash, rockets the ball wide. He's had a slow start to the game, Wayne Swash. Scott Russell feeds the ball off to Creswell. It's caught from behind. Great chasing by St Kilda. Back to O'Loughlin, 45 metres out. It's a wild kick. Out of bounds on the full. So a wasted opportunity. Creswell seemed to be a bit off balance. Wasn't expecting the handball here.
Well, Russell was in two minds because Lockett was behind Wakeland. He was trying to come forward at the ball carrier, but Wakeland did a very good defensive job. Therefore, he tried to give the ball to Creswell, who would have crossed the 50, but the handball was behind Creswell. Hence, the ball stopped in that area.
Carr had a few games with Collingwood's reserves. Also at East Fremantle, he was looking for Stewie Lowe. It's out on the full. Swash to take the free kick. No, Ryan O'Connor. Have a look at the crowded forward line now for St Kilda. St Kilda's defence has really pushed back, making it very difficult for the Swans. Barry unloads. O'Loughlin's there. Plugger's at the back. Missed the crumb, then goes to ground, does well out to Maxfield, should kick a goal, 35 metres out, bangs it through.
Yeah, and that's the ability of big plugger Lockett. If he doesn't actually mark the ball, and he probably got a little bit of surprise when the ball come over the top of Wakeland, as we see this thumping kick from Barry into the forward part of the ground. No doubt Plug was a little bit surprised to actually have the ball in his hands, but that's terrific handball under a pack situation to Maxfield. He ran onto his favoured left foot and kicked a terrific snapshot for goal.
Stewie Maxfield, man who got the ball to him, Tony Lockett. 6 goal scorers for Sydney, 3 for the Saints. As the Saints get it out of the middle this time, down towards their half-forward line. Walton crashes in, collides with Nix, picked up by McPherson. Immediately he's got company. 3 Saints drag him down. And the ball up, just under 6 minutes till half-time. A very handy lead now. Some phone activity from Tim Watson as a result. Bounce about 60 metres out from the Saints attacking goal. Everett directs it down. Thompson gets it across to Ryan. Ryan kicks inside the 50. Seymour had to wait. Walton off hand, snaps, hangs in the air a long time. Luff went back, slipped over. Hall gathers it, kicking at his second. He's pulled it back too much. It's a behind. Yeah, Luff did pretty well. Yeah,
great recovery there from Luff. As you mentioned, Dennis, went to ground, got his hands into the contest to keep the ball at least for an opportunity to spoil or put pressure on Hall, who won the ground level ball. But here's this man-on-man situation again. Quite often the Sydney Swans teams have been able to get players free and out too easily under no pressure whatsoever from the St Kilda forward line.
They've been fairly indirect though, the Swans. They've certainly shared the ball around. There was a shove out there, not paid, to Maxfield. McPherson tried to feed the ball off to Nix. The best running back pocket player in the competition, no doubt about that, and a goal-kicking one. Here's Peckett, taking him on centre wing, kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Great mark, Leo Barry. Crossed in front of Aussie Jones. Dale Lewis is onto the ground, his first senior game for the year. It'll be a big bonus for him, gives him a bit of marking power as well. A high ball finds Stephen Carey. Loose player has been set up. Creswell's there, Flandia's the option. He'll want to feed the ball off. Young did very well, knocked the ball out of his arms. There's no 50 metres. This is what they were worried about. Young's done it very well and got away with it. Flandia again concedes ground, backtracks. Leo Barry, back edge of the centre square. 43 plays 27. Swans by 16 points. And there's Dale Lewis on. You can see that left arm very heavily strapped. Played in the reserves last week. Barry to the half-forward line. Goods was the target. Hutchton forced him under the ball. O'Loughlin looks dangerous. Slick and quick. Comes away from the boundary line. Sets it up. Here's Plugger.
I think they've got to do something about that matchup with Matthew Carr. He's only touched the footy on numerous occasions, O'Loughlin. But he's had probably 5 kicks this quarter. But every time he's looked like getting it, something usually results of it. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. But this is terrific. Turning your opponent inside out, getting onto your non-preferred side, but he has the ability to back his own skills, and Plugger should kick his first goal for the day. He's kicked 2 behinds, but this is an important kick to stretch their lead.
Well, he's only 35 metres out. He's got underneath the ball, but he's got it.
And that's 4 unanswered goals from Sydney's point of view. They are certainly controlling this game at this stage. And more often than not, attack in a game of footy comes from defensive players. And at this stage of the second quarter, players like Young, Wakeland, Carr, Peckett and Hutchton, they've only accumulated 7 possessions between them. So no doubt the Sydney Swans forwards are working extremely hard to become targets.
So Tony Lockett continues to raise the bar. His first goal of the afternoon, 7-7-3-9. Tapped out of there by Goods, taken by Crouch. This is Brown. Brown gets through and kicks down towards half-foot, intended for Lowe. Face guarding him almost was O'Connor. O'Connor scrambles after it and comes up with a footy, but it's coming back. It's going to be a free kick, not to Lowe, but to Aussie Jones, who was being held. There's Hall. So Jones taking taking some time, setting it high in the direction of Lowe, reaching over the top. Next, Harvey had it, stumbles through some bodies there, hand passes towards goal, chopped off by McPherson. McPherson kicks out wide, lovely disposal, finds Kelly. Paul Kelly, left half back, goes off his step. Schwass hard against the boundary line, goes for distance now, down towards O'Loughlin, works in front of Carr. Carr leads back in the race in a confined space, played it pretty well. Shoots the hand pass away to Wakeland, to Francis, over the top to Brown, feeds it back inside. This is Healy. Healy's on the wing, taken front on two, jarred out of there by McPherson. They're going in solidly. Flung out there was Francis. We've got a whistle and he's getting a free kick. So Francis quickly plays on to Trianides, down towards half forward. Jason Trianides, low trajectory kick intended for Spider Everett, and he's marked. And will kick from about 45 metres out. Sharp angle, but on the right side for a left footer. As he comes around, the angle does open up. And they desperately need a goal. Peter Everett launches this one. Hits the post. A few of those now. And the margin is set at 21 points.
In this role that Goods is asked to play today, it'll actually help him in terms of experience, because Everett, as we know, is a very good forward when he's asked to go to that part of the ground. Not only is he tall, but here's the blood rule. Nix comes off. He must have a scratch under the left side, on the left side of his neck, the right side of his neck. There it is there. But no doubt Everett's going to be an important player for St Kilda if they're going to get back into this contest, because at the moment, ball's been well held this quarter by Luff, and also O'Connor's doing a fairly good job on Stewie Lowe. Stewie Lowe's only had 2 kicks, only 2 marks. Of course, he kicked an easy goal in the first quarter goal of the game. But at this stage, Everett, he could be the player that gets this St Kilda team back into it.
Peter Carey was like a circling shark there. He knew there was some blood somewhere, and eventually he found it.
Well, Peter Everett's taken 8 marks for the game. So you're right there, Mick. He's a dangerous player. He's been averaging 6 marks a game, so he's well above his average. We haven't reached half-time yet. Swass has gradually worked his way back into this game. That's what he does very well. It was a beautiful kick. Finds Stevens. He juggled the mark. It's on the half-back flank. And this is what they've been doing a lot this afternoon. Then bring the ball back to a loose player, more towards the centre of the ground. Leo Barry's had a big game. Unloads a big bomb, gives it both barrels. Big pack of players. Goods has got it. What a mark. He's looking for Plugger in the square. He just rushed it and threw for a behind.
Was the mark paid?
Well, surely it must have been paid.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either, Dennis.
These players, these St Kilda players, descended upon Goods. I don't think they got their hands on the ball. Look at that. That's a clean mark.
No doubt.
What happened, guys? The umpire actually called play on with his hands, then blew his whistle and paid the mark, so I dare say he just confused the young guy.
Well, there's Goods there just punching the ball back over the line.
As soon as he actually kicked the ball, he turned to the umpire and questioned with his hands, why wasn't the mark paid? As if to say, well, OK, I've taken a clean mark, but I didn't hear the whistle. I've played on and made a mistake.
Sydney by 22 points. Swass, dangerous player, centres the ball. Plugger here, comes Goods. Again off hands. He's an exciting young talent.
He's an athlete, isn't he?
And his confidence is on the rise.
Literally.
Yes. Terrific young player. The margin 22 points. Sydney in control of this one. A bit of bad luck just moments ago, because the way he's playing Goods, he probably would have gone back and kicked a goal. Burke dragged down, gets the kick off, bounces wide of Healy. McPherson can't control it. And out it goes. So we're down to 52 seconds remaining in this first half. Bearing in mind St Kilda got the first 2 goals of the game. It's been all Sydney since.
And Dennis, it's interesting to see O'Connor's going wherever Lowe goes, as seen on screen. Everett, who's pushed forward, has been picked up by Carey. Now Goods is the floating type of midfielder, maybe used across half forward for Sydney's purposes.
Close to the boundary line. McPherson kept it alive. Crouch crawls after it. Out of a crouch, knocks it across the boundary line. 50 to 28. The Saints with their problems. Of course, they had problems at this time last week against the Cats. Trailed by an even bigger margin at half-time and at three-quarter time. Came back to win, but it's hard to make a living in the AFL doing that. Russell gets it away to Barry. Barry wanting his left side. Well, he is very left-sided. I've said it before. Very lucky not to be penalised there. And now the Swans with a chance. Schwass centres it to Cresswell, and Cresswell is marked about 40 metres out. Well, I don't know how Barry wasn't penalised on the outer side. I'm having trouble with advantage and holding the ball today, but generally every weekend it's a couple of categories that get me.
Yeah, well, this is definitely holding the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Tried 2 separate occasions to get around the tackler in Healy. There's no question that is holding the ball under the current rule.
Thanks, Mick. You've restored my self-confidence. A bit. So Cresswell after the siren for a 28-point lead. He sprayed it. It's gone well left. But still, Sydney could be very content with their first half. As Leo Barry. Not often players get to this standard where they're so one-sided in their footy. He's a handy player, no question about that, but he does get himself into trouble. So half-time in Sydney after the slow start. The Saints came out, got the early goals, looked in control. It's been Sydney ever since. They'd be delighted. Half-time, Saturday football, 7-9 to 3-10.
Also, Brown are in the centre square for St Kilda, opposed to Swash, Crouch, and also Leo Barry. Ryan O'Connor to take the ruck.
Saturday football on 7. O'Connor went up, slapped it down. Healy got it away. Brown's hand pass accommodates Harvey, running down towards right half forward. Kicks inside the 50. Everett coming up on the lead, but coming across on the angle. Luff. He's been tested back there in defence, but generally has been pretty good. Luff across the ground so often. They've sent play in this direction from one side of the ground to the other. Schwass, well, he didn't play that very well. Seymour made it look okay, though. Well played by Brad Seymour, peeling off half-back, kicking it down towards half-forward. Carr went back with courage, finds the ball on the ground. Now he's got a problem. Just shrugs a tackle. Fosdyke almost had him. The kick back towards the wing, and the mark is taken by Walton. 51 to 28. Walton goes off his step, spotting a man clear. That's Thompson. Hard running player. Everett up ahead, indicating he wants it towards the boundary. Well, too spindly, too much of him. And Luff had no chance when he was camped underneath it like that. He was trapped.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why Luff was actually on Everett on that occasion. When the ball came forward in the first instance, it was Carey versus Everett, and that appears to be a better matchup for height. And also Luff to Hall, that's a better matchup in terms of mobility.
Saints need this goal, and Everett delivers.
Just to start, St Kilda wanted to start this third quarter kicking in the opening goal, just as they did in the first quarter through Stewie Lowe. They kicked the opening goal of the first quarter and the opening goal of the game. But here's a terrific judge mark there by Peter Everett. Just out-positioned Luff, got him underneath the fly to the footy. And Everett went back in his typical approach towards goal. More often than not, he's staggered, but he does kick very effectively for a big man.
Sydney buys 17 points. Stewie Lowe doing the ruck work. Here's Harvey. Ball-winning machine out of the centre square. Drills it down to Big Spider. He's got Stephen Carey on him there. Here's Seymour. Good tackle. Short kick taken by Tony Francis. Hands and knees. They try and work the ball forward. McPherson slaps the ball out. So under pressure, the Sydney defence holds up. Kick tumbles short, taken by Peckett. And gives Creswell one across the top of the scone as Peckett unloads. Kicks deep into the foreline. Spider's caught from behind. Taken by Leo Barry. And a big second term. Nix has already kicked the goal out of the back pocket. Goes short to Swash, the playmaker. Also, 8 possessions in the second quarter. O'Loughlin, danger player, playing in front of Carr.
Swash is appearing to going head-to-head with Harvey. Swash had 8 possessions in that second quarter. Also, Harvey did the same. 2 quality players going against each other.
Put O'Connor under a lot of pressure. Just popped the ball too high. And Stewie Lowe over the top, able to fist the ball back over the boundary line. 34 plays, 51. St Kilda led by 3 points at quarter time. Sydney 23 points at half time. And now lead by 17, the Swans. O'Connor put his hands on the ball first. Saddington half smothered off the boot that time by Healy. Good enough to get his kick away. Needing a lucky bounce, they get it, was Crouch. Rockets the ball out. Here's fearless Fosdyke. 45 metres out. He's a goal kicker. Across the face of goal. And through for a behind.
And an exceptional athlete too, apparently, KB. He certainly can run quick and long. But down to you, Aussie, you got the St Kilda bench.
Yeah, thanks, Mick. Tim Elliott, Damien Ryan, Gavin Mitchell and Lenny Hayes.
Yes, as a schoolboy, Fosdyke was a 1,500 metre champion. Trianides from centre half back. That raking left footer. Edge of the centre square, patting the ball along was McLaren. Quick hands, all tied up. Taken away by Luff, goes short and finds Maxfield, who can feed the ball off. They've got some run through. Crouch drills it and finds Adam Goods.
And Sydney have just looked that little bit sharper throughout the course of the game. No doubt St Kilda finished the game exceptionally hard and long against Geelong 7 days ago. This Sydney team, they look to be fresher in the legs at this stage of the contest. They are certainly reacting quicker when the ball's in close. They're pretty sure with their hands. More importantly, they're getting numbers at the contest.
Kicked 5 goals for the season. Goods from 50. Nails it.
Yeah, there's no doubt in this young man's talents. We've spoken volumes of his ability throughout the course of the call. He's had 9 kicks. He's taken 7 marks. Most of those uncontested because he's really worked hard to space, trying to make Everett or Lowe, depending on who's in the ruck at any given time, to make him accountable. But in this, the third quarter, he's lined up against half forward. Barry's gone into the centre. Maxie Hutchins, his direct opponent.
Adam Goods has played every game this year for the Sydney Swans. Already a Norwich Rising Star nomination in his first year. And he's strutting his stuff here against the Saints, who have won their last 5 games. Swash starting to have an impact on the game now. Tumbles the ball forward, punched away by Nathan Burke. They need a crummer, kicked off the ground by Peckett. Comes back to Goods, who's just kicked a goal. Plugger Lockett can kick it off the ground. He's got it.
Oh, Plugger! Yote!
There's only one Tony Lockett.
There's no doubt about that, KB. But what a goal there from Plugger. Improvisation at its best. Terrific play there by Goods. This is sensational play. Got the ball forward. But this is great awareness there by the big fella. Got his left leg high in front of Wakeland. His body shielded Wakeland from the ball. And Lockett, as we know, he only has to have a couple of opportunities to kick goals. That's his second for the day. But great to see young Adam Goods involved in that flurry forward from the Swans.
That'll test the hammies, eh? Plugger putting that leg up. Here's Barry. Across it comes to Saddington, rather untidy, missed the target, went behind O'Connor, who reached back to find it. Schwartz, who's been very lively, about 75 metres out, comes looking for Lockett. It bounces inside the 50. Wakeland is there, put down by Lockett. Still the big man works. Wakeland fights back into it, dragged Lockett down. Spills come to Harvey. Harvey's looping hand pass was a good one. Francis at close quarters to Healy. The margin 30 points. Healy gives it across to Brown inside the centre square, kicks down towards half forward. Leading in the race towards the outer side is Hall. Luff is closing. Luff brought him down. It comes to Walton, stood up in the tackle, but in the meantime there's a whistle. And that tackle by Luff obviously went too low.
Yeah, cool tripping by Brian Sheehan, the umpire, on Barry Hall.
So Hall has this one, forward of the wing. Watch it again. Starts okay, but found its way down. So Barry Hall kicks inside the 50. The Saints are in trouble here, make no mistake. Walton, though, a chance to put their 5th goal. He's marked about 25 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, it's always important in a pack situation. If your player decides to go for the marking contest, you must also go. On that occasion, Walton decided to be the 3rd man up in the contest. His opponent and Seymour decide to stay back for the ball in case it come over the back. But if your player goes up, it's so important you go up with him and bring the ball to ground level.
Walton has got the goal.
Yeah, terrific contested mark there by young Walton. He's been a very important player for St Kilda in his first year with the Saints. He certainly is a marking player. Last week against the Cats, he come on in that last quarter and kicked a couple of goals, but there's the pack. Good judged mark on that occasion. And he went back and kicked the Saints second for the quarter.
Ben Walton kicks his first goal. That's his 7th for the season. Just 19 years of age from Central Districts. His first season, so he's been a handy pickup. Kicked off the ground by Harvey. Finds McPherson. Quick with his hands back to Fosdyke. Dribbles the ball to Leo Barry, who's been very good today. Feeds it off to Creswell. Some run in the Swans' leg. He's looking for O'Loughlin. It's a floater. Carr has had the job all day on the dangerous O'Loughlin. Back around the corner. Only finds Creswell. Some loose players for the Swans at centre-half forward. Take your pick. Bingo. Lucky number 2. Wayne Swass. Again, St Kilda's defence very slack at picking up an opponent. Ryan O'Connor. Good 55 metres out. He's indicating that maybe he wants to kick the ball long.
I dare say this would be a half kick, making he's going to have a shot at goal, but I dare say I'll just kick the ball about 15 metres from goal with a bit of air.
Well, he tries to unload. He's into the pocket. There's a big pack of players. It was a big fist away. The crummer was Seymour. Shoveled the ball out towards McPherson. Healy did well, got there first, put his body on the line. Loose ball, Thompson. Had 17 possessions in the first half. Back to the running machine in Harvey, around the corner. Maxfield should trap it. He's on centre wing. Rockets the ball back to Swass. Having a huge impact now since the second quarter. Back to Troy Luff, across half-back, caught in 2 minds. Finds fearless Fosdyke under pressure. Just tumbles the ball forward to McPherson. Great play that time by Healy. Smothered the ball off the hands. Taken away by Burke on the rebound. Here come the Saints. McLaren drills the ball. Looking for Everett. Got pushed out of the way by Carey. A sign of strength. It's a poor hand pass. Going to ground. Over the top. That looked like it was Walton at the bottom of the pack. Sydney lead by 24 points. A torrid passage of play. Let's go down to Aussie.
Yes, Dale Lewis, Peter Philandia, John Stevens and Freddie Campbell on the bench for the Swans.
Timely tackle there too from Brad Seymour. He's been very good this afternoon. Came back last week. Everett to Walton. High up and under. Gains about 25 metres. An arm over the shoulder. Free kick to Maxfield. The 2 11s. Gavin Mitchell out of position. So Maxfield has this ball. About 25 metres out from his own defensive goal. Deep to the pocket. Scotty Russell is away. Up to left half back. A little indecisive. The hand pass wasn't good. Now Burke's got a chance. Meantime, there's going to be a free kick. I think it'll go to Fosdyke for a push in the back. That was before Russell went down a second time. So Fosdyke slides it across the ground. That was deemed in the back. Meantime, Creswell has gone to Nix, who's gone to Luff. Luff pulls it back towards the middle. Maxfield has run on. He's inside the centre square. Heard the voice. Nix on the overlap. Peeled off from half-back. Kicks inside the 50. And Lockett low down has taken the mark. He's got 2 this afternoon. And this one is not beyond him.
And that set up there, Dennis, has just been typical of the way the Swans have gone about their footy today, especially from half-back. They've got great ability getting players behind the footy, therefore trying to get one player free. On that occasion it was Nix. They chipped the ball away around until one player got free. Maxfield got free in midfield. The overlap of Nix was on, who kicked to Lockett.
Lockett going at his 3rd. They contest a couple of metres out. Goods out of mid-air may have got the goal. Yes! That's his 2nd. And this kid is really something.
Yeah, without a doubt. He's the most promising young player in the competition as far as I'm concerned. There's the contested mark situation in front of goal by Ryan O'Connor. But there's Goods once again, just getting in the right percentage spot for the ground level ball. quickness of mind got the goal through.
Here's Timmy Watson on screen. They made a marvellous comeback last week against the Cats. They were down 25 points into the last quarter. They're down 30 points today against the Sydney Swans. Thompson tried to bounce off his opponent. Harvey tries to set it up to Burke. Has to kick around the corner. Big Bad bustling in front. Got a fist to the ball. Was Troy Luff. Swans now working overtime out of defence. Barry Hall's given away the free kick downfield. Late tackle on Fosdyke. Lewis, his first game for the season. Beautiful kick to Maxfield. Quick hands. Plenty of run now for the Swans. McPherson, usually a good finisher of the ball, this time dropped short. Plugger got a cruel bounce. Young under pressure from Stevens. Paddles the ball along. Plugger still there, does the shepherding. Barry's on 50. Centering kick to the square. Here comes Goods. He's got it. Well, we've spoken a lot about this young man today. Let's have a look at the Barry Hall incident first. There's the kick and there's the high tackle. So the free kick down the field. He's booted 2 goals in this third term, Adam Goods. He's going for 3 straight. He's directly in front, 15 metres out. And he drills it.
Yeah, and what a young talent he is. Terrific work there on outer wing here by Tony Lockett. Couple of the bouncing ball, then the Shepherd off the line of the footy to give Barry the ball. Just terrific stuff. But a jumping, marking player is worth their weight in goal across half forward. And this young player certainly is a talent. Elliott hasn't had much ground time at this stage. He'll probably come onto the ground as we see him warming up. He'll go back and probably play on Goods in that part of the ground, because he's certainly got the height factor against Hudson.
The Swans seem to have all the answers. Schwartz out of the middle, down to half forward. Barry controlled it brilliantly. Trying to force back onto that left footy. Hand passes towards the wing eventually. Cresswell kicks inside the 50. The mark is taken by Fosdyke. He had to wait. Jones was bearing down but couldn't get there in time. Lachlan up ahead offers a lead. But Fosdyke obviously likes his chances.
You just sort of sense he's just getting a taste for league footy. He's running to the right spots. He's accumulating possessions. Certainly is an athlete.
The margin is 36 points, and Kilda falling right off the pace at the moment. Oh, Lockett launched himself, has been penalised. Free kick will go to Lowe. They combine so often for so long. Lowe and Lockett. This is Healy out of the back pocket to Young. St Kilda desperate for the next goal. Young running it up towards half back. Eventually goes across to Burke. He has to backtrack back to Lowe, who's run up the ground. Taken by O'Connor. He hand passes to Harvey. Great pressure from Sydney. Harvey under the pump now comes to Burke. Eventually he does get free. Finds McLaren. McLaren in space. Right centre wing kicking down towards half forward. Nice kick too. Elliott just on the ground. Has taken the mark about 65 metres out. Wants to go by hand. Saddington got his hands to it. Maxfield slides in. Trying to crash his way through as Francis. In goes McPherson. Taken down by Mitchell. Ball jarred out. Picked up by Elliott. Elliott the hand pass to Peckett. Peckett just inside the 50. Pulls it back. They'll contest 10 metres out. Hall goes back. Walton almost. Nix hasn't got the ball surely. Free kick to Sydney. Advantage is paid. Seymour towards the middle. Down goes Lewis. Arriving late was Lowe. Lewis to get the free.
He's at the true centre-half back position. A lead by 36 points. Another loose player, and that's this man, Adam Goods. He is killing St Kilda. Drives it into the pocket. Here's Kelly, who's been pretty quiet today. Just his 6th possession. Goes short. Bang. Goods again. Well, he's just too mobile for St Kilda at the moment, Adam Goods. He's booted 3 goals in this third term. It's been a red-letter quarter for the youngster from Horsham. Here's Kelly. And again, Goods makes good ground. And Thompson, another St Kilda defenders, very slow to pick up this young man. 45 metres out. He's across the face of goal. Plugger's there. have thought St Kilda would have got it back a few more players then, Mick, because if that ball wasn't going to go through for a goal, you certainly want Wakeland to get a bit of support. You don't want him one out with Plugger in a marking drill.
Yes, Jerry Lowe was the opposition ruckman. He no doubt should have pushed forward because his opponent O'Connor was out of the contest. But Lockett, as we know, he's just a beautiful shot on goal. He'll go for the drop punt on this occasion.
Plugger going for his third. The Swans are 42 points up.
Terrific start here by the Sydney Swans in this, the third quarter. Quite often termed the premiership quarter, but it is a terrific contested mark by Lockett. Just his bulk and his frame of his body just gets his opposition player out of the contest by giving him a slight nudge. Banana shot on goal. Terrific skills.
Lockett really becoming a factor now. 5 marks, 7 kicks, 3 goals, 2 of them in this term. St Kilda's 5-game winning streak looks headed for a nasty ending unless they can do something very quickly. McLaren went back to, it was Elliott. Eventually around the outer side goes Jones, over the top to Thompson, hurriedly onto the boot, almost an involuntary action. Slapped out of there by Maxfield, taken by Schwartz to Creswell. Creswell feeds it wider, this is Stevens. Stevens on the wing, digs it in short. Barry comes up to take the mark on the lead. Inside the centre square, turns around and heads for Plugger. He's down there. Was he held by Young? No free kick. Ball at the back, grabbed by Carr. And Carr, no hesitation, throwing it on the boot and finding the boundary line.
I think it's about time we made mention of young Adam Goods. He's had 14 kicks, 10 marks. They're very similar to Kevin Bartlett, no handballs.
That's a bit unkind.
I thought you'd like that one, KB.
Out of nowhere, a backhander for KB.
Tom Hafey told me in 1965 that handball was just a fad.
Healy, high kick back towards the centre square. Creswell knocks it down. Taken by Harvey. Harvey at centre half back, shrugs a tackle and kicks it out towards the wing.
Now he's looking for Ozzie Jones, who wants a bit of luck. He wants a kind bounce. Ozzie Jones takes him on. Kicks wide, it's a poor kick. Nix has been magnificent in defence. Back to Troy Luff. Sets it up, Maxfield. The chasing and the tackling of Sydney today has been fantastic. Got the Saints off balance. Leo Barry, that's his first mistake today. Paddles the ball along in front of Healy. Trying to trap it. Healy does well. Sweated on him. And the Saints come away with the ball. Thompson to Brown, centre wing. Can the Saints make Sydney pay? Barry Hall will be shooting from 25 metres out on a pretty tough angle.
Good decision there by Barry Hall not to play on because the pressure was certainly going to come from Troy Luff. Good weighted kick there by Tony Brown. Just give the ball enough air to overcome Troy Luff, who would have competed in the air. But Hall composed himself, gone back for a set shot on goal.
Barry Hall kicked the goal in the first quarter. It's a beautiful kick. It's got 2. Terrific play by Healy down here, Mick, because really he just sweated on Leo Barry and it wasn't silly enough to give away a free kick or get into his back. He really did do well to enable St Kilda really to win that ball.
Yeah, good point, KB. He certainly did well on Leo Barry. Leo Barry tried to gain possession at ground level a couple of occasions, but Healy just felt the body of his opponent, wasn't overzealous in the tackle.
So the margin is 36 points. Just under 3.5 minutes till 3/4 time. Schwartz has had a very good turn. Boots it down towards half forward for Sydney. Getting back is Elliott. Taken by O'Loughlin. The ball jarred out of there. Carr, the hand pass across to Young. Young working overtime. As the rest of his co-defenders, he finds Burke with a good kick. Burke from the back pocket up towards the wing. Marked there by Healy. He's been lively, particularly in the last 10 minutes or so. Plays on. Kicks towards half forward. Stewie low in the hands. Immediately to Brown. Brown storming through the centre. runs towards centre-half forward, kicks to about 25 metres out, knocked away by Luff from Hall. Hall goes crashing over the top, grabs it, feeds it across to Mitchell, running out of space on the boundary line. The Saints, it comes back to Mitchell from Thompson, and he's kicked a goal. Great goal for the Saints.
And one wonders, could this be similar to 7 days ago, KB, where they actually launched their attack from three-quarter time onwards. Only 2.5 minutes of this, the third quarter to go. But Stewie Lowe, he is the one player that has to stand up. He hasn't had a lot of the footy at this stage of the game, only comprising 5 possessions, 3 marks. And that is a terrific effort there by Barry Hall. Good quick hands and good recovery there by Mitchell, who balked inside to open up the goal face and snapping truly for goal. But that's the goal St Kilda certainly wanted.
Team lifting stuff by Barry Hall. He drags the Saints back to 30 points. Goods gets his hands on the ball first. Healy, Dennis is right. He's having a big influence on the game now, winning a lot of the ball. Seymour playing in front of Walton. Takes a mark at half back.
Seymour, to me, gives this Sydney Swans team a lot of stability, a lot of strength and guidance across half back. Very similar to the role Eustace plays for the Brisbane Lions.
Well, he's tough and uncompromising. Playing game number 81 today for Seymour. He's had a few injuries as well. Some fancy footwork comes from Maxfield. Unloads. Bangs it back towards centre-half forward. He was looking for O'Loughlin. O'Connor does well with strength. The Rhino gives it across to Fearless Fosdyke. Around the corner. Kicks a high ball. Scotty Russell had Nathan Burke to beat. McPherson lends a hand. They win out. Drew Philandia draws an opponent. Gives it across. Lewis runs into the open goal. Bangs it through.
Clever. That was a clever goal.
He's a good player. He's a handy pick-up this stage of the season. Coming back from injury.
And this is a terrific build-up. Good awareness there by Russell to give the ball to Philandia, who in turn gave it to Lewis. But have a look at this. He could have kicked the ball with a bit of air, but Wakeland was sort of sitting in between the goal line and also Lockett. Lewis sensed there was enough opportunity to kick it low and hard and flat towards goal. He did so, and that is a very smart goal from a smart player.
Yes, no substitute for skill. Wonderful by Dale Lewis. Up goes Everett to thump it down to half forward. Brown to Francis. Comes back to Thompson. Thompson 65 metres out. A high kick. It floats towards the pocket. Hall looking for some body contact there. It fell in front. Trying to crash his way through was Maxfield. In goes Seymour. Dragged off it. Cresswell concedes. Going back to Luff. Luff in space though. Across the goal face to Goods. To the run of Schwass. Schwass coming up for his 20th possession. Chips it back to Goods. We predicted his mobility could be a problem the longer it went on this ground. That's from the Saints' perspective. Showing great dashes. McLaren out there. Gathers the bouncing ball. Little chip back into the centre square. Brown plays on immediately. Probing kick inside the 50. Up goes Luff, and that's a terrific grab. A real contender for the Capri Mark of the Year.
Yeah, he is one player that has grown in stature as the season's gone on and as the years have gone on through experience. He certainly has got that centre-half back pinned to his name.
Stevens to Kelly. Kelly looking for Lewis as it got the carry. Trying to shield the ball. Drops it onto his boot. Picked up by Peckett now, hard against the line. Confronted by Lewis. Pulls it back towards the wing. The clock is down to 19 seconds. Elliott gets the hand pass to the run of Thompson. The Saints desperate for a late goal. Up goes Hall to mark it. We're down to 10 seconds now. Hall right at the edge of his range, 55 metres out. Doubt he could score from here. Decides to take on the man on the mark. The siren about to sound. Seymour comes in. Grabs the footy in any case. And fitting really the Swans end up with it, because generally that term belonged to them. St Kilda threw everything at them, but it seemed whatever they threw, the Swans were able to catch and dispose of. 13-10 to 7-10 at three-quarter time. Terrific performance by Sydney. We said earlier, got the slow start today. St Kilda seemed in control of this match early. Late goals approaching quarter time changed the complexion of everything. Tony Lockett's booted 3. Adam Goods got 3 in that term. It's 88 to 52.
in the goal square. Kelly's alongside him. Leo Barry, who's been a terrific player for Sydney, he's lined up in a forward pocket.
Start of the final term. Great chance here for Sydney, lurking just outside the top 8. Schwass knocks it across to Crouch. Crouch boots it down towards half forward. It pitches in front of O'Loughlin. Carr gets back, gets the hand pass across to McLaren. McLaren forward of half-back, kicks up towards the wing. In from the angle, Seymour paddles the ball towards the boundary line. Has it knocked away by Walton, and out it goes. A boundary throw in out his side as we go down to Aussie with the Saints bench.
Tony Brand, Daniel Healy, Damien Ryan, and as I've been assured, a 100% fit Barry Hall.
Well, I think, Rodney, you'd be pretty happy to see Barry Hall sitting in the dugout. It's a tough angle to kick a goal from.
Creswell looking for Maxfield, taken by Young. Crouch drags him down, bounces across to Schwass, ricochets off Burke, comes to Walton. Walton, a chip pass to Hayes. Hayes is at right half forward. Lowe offers the lead. The kick goes in that direction. Will it carry? No. In short, though, Thompson gave a contest. Goods missed it. Picked up by Everett. Stood up in the tackle. Hayes is dragged down. Strong tackle from Crouch. In goes Schwass. With him is Francis. A whistle and a ball up. And St Kilda must get the first goal here. And you would think it needs to be early.
They trail by 36 points. But they've got a chance. A ball up. 45 metres out from goal. Everett to do the ruck work against Young Goods, who just slaps the ball at the second attempt down to McPherson, who unloads and just belts the ball back towards the half forward line. Carr lost it. Harvey swoops on it, tries to give it across to Thompson, taken away by Barry, who's been magnificent the past 2 quarters. Goes short and finds Plugger. Loose player on. John Stevens will take this mark. He'll run in and kicks a goal.
Well, that certainly hurts you when your direct opponent finishes with the goal. It was Robert Harvey who made the mistake. He's had 28 possessions today, but just in terms of effectiveness, he's always been under pressure, and the blokes he's usually gave the ball to have put them under pressure, which is very rare to see from Robert Harvey's point of view. But that backward handball to a player under pressure is just low percentage, because the waiver players from the opposition usually run forward, and when you see your opponent kick a goal, that hurts.
So margin 42 points. There's the Swans bench. Aussie.
Yes, as you can see on the screen, Peter Philandia, Nick Fosdyke, Jason Saddington and Freddie Campbell.
Bit of run there. Everett and Goods. Goods 3 goals in the previous term. What an exciting prospect. A bad bounce. Everett directs it down to Burke. Burke goes off a step. High kick towards half forward. Luff knocks it down. Hayes against the flow. Perhaps wishes he hadn't. And we'll have a bounce right on the attacking 50 for St Kilda. Sydney lead it 94-52. It's become very cold now. Good crowd at Waverley this afternoon. A sense of occasion with Tony Lockett coming back against his old club. Everett thumps it well inside the 50. Seymour liked his game. Jarred out of there that time though. Hayes, Schwass, very composed over the top to Russell. Russell's away, he's on the wing. Scott Russell down towards half forward. Barry, always lurking, always dangerous. Back to Creswell. Sydney running on very nicely. Lewis trying to get into the game. Dropped the mark, but gets it back. Russell gave him the hand pass. O'Loughlin got in the road of Lockett. It comes to Wakeland. Did he have the ball? Play on's the call. Harvey, his 29th possession. Comes away from full-back, kicks it towards the outer side wing. This is Hayes. Hayes playing on immediately after he'd taken the mark. Kicks towards half forward. Well done by Nix. Directed it behind. Seymour. Trianides almost got him. Seymour had it charged down by Aussie Jones. Finds it again, but across the boundary line. So a throw in. No damage done for the Swans.
And just in terms of their style of play today, Dennis, the Sydney Swans have been really trying to use a short option more often than not. They've had 77 short kicks compared to St Kilda 42. More often than not, they've found targets. In comparison, the long kicks, it's been 54 to St Kilda, 57 to Sydney, those being over 40 metres or more.
Young keeps the ball alive into the pocket. Here's Mitchell, the danger man. Great tackle again by Crouch. This is where they've been very good today, Sydney. Their tackling's been superb. Stewie Lowe from 15 metres out has missed.
Yeah, and that's typified Stewie Lowe's day. Ryan O'Connor certainly ran up to him on that occasion and let him know verbally Basically, it's a psychological warfare between those two today. Ryan O'Connor, without a doubt, has taken those points.
I think, Mick, that also typified the day of the majority of the St Kilda boys.
Yeah, good point, Ozzy.
Sydney trailed by 3 points at quarter time. They led by 23 points at half time, 36 points at three-quarter time. They've now extended that to 41 points. Swash, after a slow start, has been an influential player. Bangs the ball wide. He was looking for Crouch. Too much run on the ball for a toss back in.
Probably the disappointing part from Timmy Watson's point of view for today has been St Kilda's decision-making, both with hand and feet. They've struggled to find the right option at times when put under pressure from the Sydney Swans opposition.
Some pushing and shoving, a test of strength between Carey and Everett. Again, a ball up.
94 to 53, the official attendance today, just under 47,000. Everett directs it back towards the boundary. Traianidis slides in. I think the knock was intended for Burke. There's going to be a free kick, and it will go Sydney's way out there, will it?
Yeah, it is. It looks like it's Jared Crouch who's actually going to get the free kick.
He was back and ready. Crouch across the ground to Creswell. Creswell wants to go. Gets it across effectively enough to Stevens, to Maxfield. More problems for the Saints. Long kick from Maxfield, well inside the 50. From behind Lockett. Unkind bounce again. That's happened a couple of times. Carr hand passes wide towards the boundary. Hudgton, who was felled early in the game, gathers it nicely. Kelly right after him. The hand pass looped up in the air. Wakeling directed it down to Young. Well played. Finds Harvey. Harvey thought about the hand pass. Now goes with the boot to the wing. Taken by Hayes. He releases Thompson. Has one bounce. Thompson through the wing. Kicking down towards half forward. Nicks in front. Outmaneuvered that time by Jones. Jones streaming towards goal. Sharp angle. That's a beautiful kick. It's a goal. Can that spark the Saints?
Yeah, terrific shot on goal there by Ozzy Jones. He's predominantly played centre wing most of the day on Scotty Russell. Both players have worked up and down the ground fairly hard. Jones has had 12 possessions. His opponent Russell's had 17, but Jones has gone to the forward pocket part of the ground for this last quarter. Picked up by Matthew Nicks, but that's a terrific finish from a player with an abundance of skill.
That certainly will lift the spirits of Ozzy Jones. Just his 4th goal for the season, playing his 97th game today. They trail by 35 points, the Saints. The free kick is going to Adam Goods.
Yeah, that was a decision given by umpire Peter Carey, who was in the forward part of the ground for Sydney Swans. He believed it was head-high contact, hence the free kick to Goods. Goods,
arguably the best player on the ground, kicks a high ball. Plugger comes out with strength in front. Couldn't hang on to the Sharon. Great tackle by Lewis. Plugger's there as well.
Not a bad team tackle, was it?
There's the wild man from Borneo. Dale Lewis playing his first game for the season. Just 25 metres out from Sydney's goal. Kelly's had a quiet day. Peckett squeezed up on the boundary line. Drills it. Finds Thompson as Peckett runs over the line.
I suppose they're positive signs from Sydney's point of view, knowing that Kelly's had a fairly quiet day. Lockett's kicked 3. It's been a lot of their unsung heroes in Barry and also Goods. Creswell's accumulated possessions. The class of Swash has certainly come into the game as the game's wore on.
Young, pinpoint accuracy, finds Hudgton. They need to move the ball quickly. That was a poor hand pass from Francis. Put his teammate under a lot of pressure, but here's Mr. Magic. Shades of Baryshnikov as he dances past 3 opponents, kicks down towards centre half forward. Lenny Hayes gives it across to Mitchell. 25 metres out and closing. It's missed.
Yeah, there's another young player in the screen, Lenny Hayes, who got front and square to that contest. He's a player that no doubt St Kilda supporters and St Kilda hierarchy will see a lot of in the near future.
Nicks put Schwartz under pressure with a kick. He was equal to it. Interesting, Daniel Healy also starting on the bench in this term. Thought he had a very good 3rd quarter for St Kilda. Short one comes to Creswell. So the running players, Swans and Creswell combining. Creswell 21 possessions, workmanlike as always, kicking it up towards the wing. Hayes is there, number 7 for St Kilda, being held, I thought. He's going to get the free kick. The margin is 34 points. Still plenty of time. In fact, McLaren has got a free kick, has he? That was off the ball as he kicks it inside the 50. Schwartz right on the line, dropped it. Coming through was Saddington in the opposite direction. Walton falling to the ground, picked up by Saddington again, throws it on the boot, directs it back towards the centre square. It's missed out there by McLaren, taken by Lewis, throws it on the boot, found a teammate wider. That's Kelly. Kelly, time to settle, time to measure things down towards Plugger. He tried to be a little too cute that time. Wakeland coming through, hand pass to himself. Carey had other ideas. This is Barry now, inside the 50, goes across to Luff. Advantage will be paid. It was going to be a Swans free. Luff just casually turns around and kicks a goal.
I think the free kick was going to be awarded to Leo Berry. Peter Carey is emphasising there was a problem with a kicking action from somebody here we might see. I don't know what that was for. I've got no idea. There's a free kick to Sydney. He's here, the St Kilda supporters. 27 free kicks.
Free kick out of the centre square, went to Adam Goods. They come forward, Sydney, but this time we see Wakeland taking the mark. Harvey, possession number 32. Can he lift the Saints in this last term? Everett tried to juggle the ball. Coming through hard was Leo Barry. He's had a big game to Saddington. Rockets the ball to Stephen Carey. Just throws the ball to Adam Goods. He's caught under pressure. Seymour bowled over as well. Taken away by Carr. Some quick hands back to Elliott. Francis goes to ground. Caught too high. Bit lucky that time. Just slid into the tackle from Wayne Swass. So Francis, just his 10th possession today, kicks the ball wide, 2 against 1. Elliott gets plenty of support. Here comes the running skipper, Nathan Burke. Bangs the ball back to centre-half forward. Here comes Stewie Lowe, caught from behind. Mitchell, the crummer, does well, scoops it up to Lenny Hayes. Walton, point-blank range, has missed. So 2 opportunities go begging for the Saints.
15-10, 8-13. Matthew next to bring it in once more. Just over 11 minutes remaining in the contest. It's no contest at the moment. Sydney controlling things pretty well. Philandia up towards left half back. High kick close to the boundary line. McLaren flew in from the side. It fell to Crouch. McLaren goes back and gathers the crumb. Hand passed into Saddington. They fight on though. Lowe gets it across to Young. In trouble. A hand pass comes back towards McLaren. Short one finds Everett. And Everett is just inside the attacking 50. Well, in fairness to the Saints, they kept working there. Something good came of it. 61-100. Ryan on the ground as Everett kicks, and kicks very well. Fine goal from long range.
Yeah, that's one feature of his game is Peter Everett, is his goal kicking for a big man. He's had 12 possessions, 8 and 4, but taken 10 marks. He's had 12 hit-outs from the centre part of the ground or around the ground. He's also kicked 2 goals too. But Everett is just a floating type forward, just knows when to get forward of the ball, into the right spot to receive the ball from his teammate. More importantly, he kicks accurately for goal.
Saints trail by 33 points. Rodney Eade on the phone. Craig Holden and Steve Malaxos. He's back up in the coaching box as Everett comes charging in. He's inspired. He's booted 2 goals. Francis with the ball, burrows in hard. It's all tied up. Ball up, smack bang in the centre of Waverley Park. 67 plays 100. The Saints have won their past 5 games. Plenty of spirit down at Moorabbin. That man on screen, Everett. He's had a big duel today with Adam Goods. Swass, it's been great since quarter time. Kick smothered, hands and knees was Matthew Young. Burke, the playmaker, gives it across to Harvey. Again, another great smother. It's been a feature of Sydney's game today. To the running Creswell. Here's Plugger. Nothing Wakeland could do about that. It was set up by a terrific play in the centre square. A couple of smothers, plenty of men around the ball, and Noble Plugger there to take an easy chest mark.
Yeah, great smother once again by young player Adam Goods.
Going for his third goal. Fourth goal, he's booted 3. It's off target. Through for behind. So Plugger now has kicked 3 goals, 3.
15-11, 9-13. The Saints outrun today. Sydney have been absolutely terrific. Here's Trianides, still in his defensive 50. Lovely kick. Peckett drops the mark. Thompson arrives like the cavalry. Well picked up. Kicks down towards the attacking 50. Nick's got a fist on it. Thumped it towards the boundary line. And out it goes. Wonderful defence there. Nick's hitting that pack hard and making sure he connected with the ball. So boundary throw in right on the wing. There's the time remaining. There's the margin. Seems too tough an assignment now for the Saints. Trianides knocks it down. Creswell, was he taken high? I think so. And he'll get the free.
There's no doubting Darren Creswell. He's certainly got the ability to find the ball. He just works and works and works himself into the game of footy. As the game goes on, he just accumulates the ball at will.
Would have used a fair bit of ice in his career as he goes across to Nix. Nix drives it towards the outer side, waiting for it. Schwartz takes the mark and plays on. Kept his eye on the footy. Well done. Not a good kick, though. Falls in short. McLaren takes it from right half back towards the wing. Hayes, clever mark. Promising youngster. Twisting, turning. He was off, certainly. That's the call now. Hayes finds Elliott, who ran on, feeds it back towards the middle, and Trianides forward of the wing, kicks inside the 50. Lowe is outnumbered, relishing that situation. O'Connor crashed into him. Chance for Jones on the deck, feeds it back looking for Thompson. Arriving quickly though, Fosdyke across the goal face, and once again Sydney showing a lot of poise. Too good, they bring it out. This is Luff up towards the wing. In front Barry, could have got a free kick, will get a free kick. Reaching it over the top, Ryan, desperately, but Barry gets the free. Not much doubting that either. Barry has gone short and Kelly's got it now.
Some big figures for Barry today. 14 kicks, 10 handballs and 10 marks. Kelly goes short to Adam Goods. 13 marks to this young man, and booted 3 goals in that third term when he set it up for the Swans. Philandia wanted to draw an opponent, pumps those piston-like legs and belts the ball back to Plugger. Tries to take a one-hander at ground level. Overrunning the ball with Saddington. Hayes leaves it. And the Saints come away. Centre wing, Mitchell. On hands and knees, over the top was Swash. Wants the free kick. They'll get a ball up. Francis was involved in that passage of play down to Gavin Mitchell. But a ball up sees Sydney. 101 plays, 67. Tim Watson. Not much Tim can do at the moment, except look on and just hope that with 7 minutes left to play that they can get the ball quickly into the forward line and find a couple of players who can kick a goal. Creswell, tough in the clinches. Kicks the ball back towards the edge of the centre square, taken away by McLaren. Pumps the ball inside 50, and there's Nix. Those long arms, no free kick paid, no mark, I should say. The ball is going to bounce 20 metres out from goal. Low, from an impossible angle across the face of goal. And finally, Kelly sees the ball over the line. Stewie Lowe on screen. Tough day at the office. 8 possessions and 3 marks. Kicked a goal early in the game.
In stark contrast to late last week, the Saints looking very disorganised on their forward line as Lowe knocks it down. Kelly soccers off the ground. Schwartz again liked his game. The longer it's gone, the better he's got. Sliding in, Elliott takes the mark just inside the centre square. 101 to 67. Time against the Saints now. And the flow of the game too, as Luff goes back, and like so many of his teammates, has improved as the game has worn on. Comes to Fosdyke, to Creswell, peeling off half-back, kicks it out wide. O'Loughlin completely misjudged that one. Carr gets back, hand passes towards the boundary. Harvey, a lot of possessions, feeds it infield, taken by Elliott, lacking support, stops, comes back to Harvey. They're not advancing the ball. He comes across the ground to Young. Now he can run. Young kicks through the centre, marked by Trianides. Trianides dragged down by Nix, but not before he got it away. Bounces obligingly for Peckett. Bacon square. Leading back is O'Connor, and it runs away from him. He hesitated, thinking the ball would bounce on its point and go high. It didn't do that, but no danger as it ran across the goal face and out of bounds in the pocket.
Just under 5.5 minutes of action left in this final quarter. 101 plays, 67. The Swans in control. Rhino against Stewie Lowe. That was a real test of strength. Burke, chance for Aussie Jones. Quick snap. He's got it.
Gee whiz.
He's kicked 2 in this final quarter.
Yeah, there's no doubting Aussie Jones' skill, especially around goal. He's just got that uncanny awareness how to kick for goal, whether it's across his body, the drop punt, or even a torpedo. That's just sensational awareness. His reaction time wasn't great because the pressure was certainly coming from the Sydney Swans defence. But all in all, that's a terrific goal from Aussie Jones.
Barry Hall back on the ground, going deep in attack, renewing his friendship with Ryan O'Connor. There's our scoreline, 15-11, 10-13. Burke out of the centre, across to Young. Young's hand pass, well, very ineffective, taken by Crouch, as though intended for him. He kicks across the ground. Creswell chugs after it. Burke comes up to meet him, and the ball's out of bounds on the outer side. Under 5 minutes to go, and the margin is 28 points.
I think it's fair to say too, Dennis, that handball from Young's typified the way St Kilda have approached this game. A lot of handballs like that have gone to ground and haven't actually found their teammate further afield.
Crouch knocks it towards the boundary. It's out again. Well, it's hard to string too many wins together in the AFL. The Saints got to 5. And at home against Sydney. Bearing in mind this ground, very unlike their home ground at the SCG. Wide expanses, but they've played it so well and they've caused the upset as Francis tries to crash through. Couldn't. Bounce on the outer side. Harvey, 35 possessions today. He picked up the top Brownlow votes last time these sides played, but I doubt he'll do that today. A lot of the ball, but here he is again, about 55 metres out. So often hasn't been able to finish his work, and this ball is punched away and out of bounds in the pocket. It was Young who hand passed across to Harvey on the break. So 36 possessions for him. Creswell 26, Schwass 26. The running players of both sides have seen plenty of the ball, but the Swans have been far more effective as Walton tries to go through. Ran into a dead end. Another bounce.
I think it also proves, Dennis, even though they had a convincing win against Geelong last week when coming from behind, you don't want to be dependent on that on a regular basis.
No. As I said earlier, hard way to make a living in the AFL doing it that way. And Sydney running into a vein of very good form. Everett fumbles, goes after it again. Everett and Good slaps it out of there. Taken by Lewis close to the boundary line. Grabbed out of there by Jones, who hooks it back towards full forward. O'Connor tried to slap it across the line and concede. He couldn't succeed in doing that. Ball on top of him, and the ball up. No love lost there.
Yeah, no, they're enjoying the contest. There's no doubt about that, the two big fellas, Big Bazza and also Ryan O'Connor. But O'Connor's been terrific for Sydney today. Stopped Lowy, and now he's actually going to play on Barry Hall for the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game.
Sydney by 28 points. The Saints desperate for a goal, and the Sydney defenders pile on top.
With some relish.
And all of a sudden, Barry Hall is getting a little bit agitated along with Wayne Swash. He spent most of this quarter on the interchange bench.
And maybe he's frustrated because of that, KB.
Well, I'm certain Tim Watson has his reasons why he was on the interchange bench, but he looked pretty dangerous to me throughout the course of the game. But Tim obviously wanting to sit on the bench for most of this last quarter. He booted a couple of goals. He'd also taken 7 marks and had 13 possessions, but he has sat most of this quarter out on the bench. Here's Stevens, who's marked at half back. Adam Goods back to Swash. He's been an important player since quarter time to young Crouch, an improver. Kicks the ball deep into the forward line. Young gets back, as he's done so many times this year. He's been averaging 22 possessions a game. Today he's averaged 18. Carr at centre half back. Caught in 2 minds. He'll have to go short back to Trianides. This is a dangerous kick. Here comes Plugger. Trianides did well, put his body on the line. Slow to get back up off the ground. Thompson forced under the ball. Burke desperate, along with Crouch. Spider lends a hand. Still centre wing. Maxfield the tackler. Francis paddles the ball out, taken by Crouch. They're good in close to the Swans. Fosdyke does well to Carey. Clean bowl, taken away by Peckett. Numbers win out for the Saints. He's caught. Ryan couldn't find the target. Fosdyke, fearless, on hands and knees. Back to Lewis. Magnificent passage by the Swans. Plugger couldn't take it on the second grab. Tries to shake off Wakeland. Paddles the ball along in front. Ryan the tackler. Plugger gets his boot to the ball, tumbles back towards the goal square, taken away by McLaren to Elliott. The chaser was Kelly. At long last, the Saints get an easy possession. It goes to Francis, pops it out in front. Mitchell, Nix comes through. Great strength and purpose and punches the ball back over the line.
That was wonderful footy. It belied the scoreboard, really. This one's all over a minute to go, and they were going in ferociously. It was all about personal pride, I think. We made the point, these two teams not enamoured with each other, despite the link of Plugger and the celebration before the game. Down goes Philandia, piling on his young. Dying moments of the game. And Sydney will have won 5 of their last 6 now. Slow start to the season, getting some people back. That's making a difference. It's a harsh reality in the AFL. If you don't have your best people, it's hard to win. Whoever coined the phrase, you're only as strong as your reserves, wasn't an AFL coach, as the ball goes out of bounds and we'll have a throw in. 101 to 73. We're down to 30 seconds now. And Sydney serving notice. Their intent to play in the finals. Should be in the top 8 after this one. Trianides to Burke. Philandia stood his ground and kicks it back to half forward. Barry almost the clever mark. Ryan drags him down. Barry butters up again. Creswell taken high. He'll get the free kick. 10 seconds to go. Darren Creswell's got it. Too far out to score. He's just forward of the wing. Just pops it down towards the 50 and Schwass.
And we'll nearly kick this, Dennis.
You'll have to kick it after the siren. Now your votes will be very interesting. Nick?
Yeah, certainly a difficult day to actually adjudicate the best of field, but there's been a number of players from Sydney Swans' point of view that could actually put their hand up with the 3, 2 and 1. Just to name a few: Barry, Goods, Creswell, Swash. Those 4 players, they'll certainly be amongst the votes. I've liked Nick's game across half-back also.
Well, if he kicks a goal here, maybe he can sway you. Schwass trying to pull it back. They contest right on the line. Off hands. It'll be called to behind. They won't try to force it through. It was simply in the act of the game. It came off the hands and ricocheted across the line. So add that to the total. A resounding victory to the Sydney Swans. Last week it was all about breaking the record. This week all about improving their own record, and they've done that. We talked about their struggling form on the road this year. Just that one win in round 8 at Shell Stadium. Yes, the Carnival. Sydney 15-12, St Kilda 10-13. Plugger, who booted 3, could have been a few more. Had some half chances, didn't quite capitalise on. As we go down to Aussie talking with a young star in today's game.
Yeah, certainly a young star. Adam, 13 marks, 3 goals. Well done.
Oh, thanks, mate. It's just good. We really had a mission to come down here in St Kilda. They've on 5 in a row now, and it's just a credit to all the boys who played the team game today, especially.
After such a slow start the season with injuries, the team that is, certainly travelling along nicely now.
Yeah, mate, certainly we're getting fellas like Dale Lewis back, and Greg Stafford's just working his way back soon, mate. We're going to be a force to meet with this year, I think.
How's the week been up in Sydney after Plugger's record-breaking feats last week?
It's been pretty quiet, mate. It's been really good, you know. We really could concentrate on this week, you know, not knowing that there's going to be a record broke or anything like that, so it's been really good.
Well, certainly you've got a magnificent career to look forward to. Well done, mate. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Rich.
Yes, thank you, Ozzy. Write that name down. Adam Goods, a player of great promise. Plugger's been doing the rounds like a politician. A lot of hands to shake, a lot of old teammates, a lot of current ones celebrating the victory here today with his Sydney Swans mates. And just saying hello to players he shared 180-odd games with here in St Kilda.
A pretty strong side, and today Paul Kelly probably had a very, very quiet day by his standards.
Yes, certainly KB, but this team, they are certainly starting to get together and their confidence is up. And when this outfit certainly gets together and their good players are performing well on a consistent basis, they're no doubt in the best 4 or 5 sides in the competition.
Well, I dare say they're going to sing. It's just a question of when.
You think they might break into one Tony Lockett?
Well, they may sing. We won't get to see it as the cameraman leaves the room. And I suppose in fairness to the Swans, if you were looking for a ground so unlike the SCG, this would be it, Waverley. And yet they've come to the vast expanses this afternoon and won on Saturday football. So Sydney on a roll now, winners by 29 points. They improved their record to 6-5.